There's an album that does it better than any other. But let me ask you a question. What makes good music? Think about it. Why do you enjoy the music you do? Is it the lyrics? Is it just how good the song sounds?
I would never cry to a song, let's be honest. I am a man.
Does it remind you of something? Does it give you goosebumps every time you listen to it? And does that feeling of euphoria draw you to press play again and again? Or is that just me? That feeling of euphoria is most present for me when listening to music about love. There is one problem. There is a lot of music about love. But as I said previously, there's an album that does it better than any other. Joji's third album, Nectar, is the best representation of love in modern music. I want to highlight 7 tracks from this album, and I know it's not all the songs, but the depictions of love from these songs make up for the, let's say, lack of euphoria on this album.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Funny enough, Ew is the name of the first song. And in the opening verse, Joji talks about the high that love gives him.
Cocaine. No.
Love. Saying that when it's lovely, he believes in anything. But the next line is him questioning what a relationship means when it's at its end. He's been heartbroken by the fact that his lover seemed to be interested in him, only to break it off, which leads him to think that it was something he did, and questioning if anyone can fulfill his desire for a relationship. Some people have speculated that while the title represents disgust in English, the phonetic pronunciation of it is very similar to the word love in Vietnamese.
Ew.
Which could further show the contrast between Joji's mixed opinion on relationships. To me, it shows that love in relationships, especially when starting out, is never constant. It proves that not everyone is willing to treat you well, and you have to find the person that makes you feel those highs consistently.
Cocaine.
I feel like Gimme Love is pretty self-explanatory. He is really desperate. Gimme Love is Joji being as straightforward as he can be. He wants to feel loved in a relationship because he makes it sound like he went through hell to get through this relationship, both literally and figuratively, and it pains him knowing that his lover won't show him the love he wants. It shows how desperation for a relationship can lead to regret and heartbreak. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but when you listen to the actual song, it makes the story better because that's how music works. So far, he's 2 for 2 on blunt titles. Run is about Joji dealing with the effects of a breakup, and more specifically, how he's running from his problems and feelings following the breakup. He sees that his lover has already moved on, and he's asking these grandiose questions like, if I took on the planet, will I pay my dues? Basically implying that Joji was yet again in a toxic relationship where he left feeling underappreciated. Instead of proving that relationships can be bad, he shows that the process after a bad relationship can be as, if not equally devastating as the relationship he was in. It shows that the things that happen in a relationship go on to affect people for an extended period of time. Yo, guess what? He's actually happy this time. For now. Sanctuary depicts Joji at the peak of one of his relationships. Whether the relationship is good or not is up to you to decide. But he talks about how he's willing to do pretty much anything for his lover, and telling them that he feels safe with them, hence the name of the song, Sanctuary. He might be glazing when he says that if his lover lays alone, his body aches, but I think it's Joji telling us that his love for this person is that deep, especially considering his other songs depicting the negative emotions associated with the process of love. Sanctuary shows that when you find that person, your feelings for them take over, and you're willing to do so much for that person to the point where it could be self-destructive. I don't think he's describing his feelings as intense enough to be self-destructive, but he is telling his lover that he's here and he's ready to get his romance on.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
Normal People is describing a relationship that Joji keeps coming back to. It's almost like when these people were first together, they had a strong connection, but after they separated, they kept coming back to each other. That's why he says, can we pretend we're normal people? They're both trying to forget or ignore what they did when they first dated. And I think the reason someone would do this in real life is because they spent all that time building the relationship the first time they dated, and they don't want to put that level of effort in again, so they keep coming back to the same person to chase those same highs. This is another beautiful song depicting a not so beautiful ending to a relationship, because that's just how Joji's songs are. And it's got another side to the story in the form of Benny's vocals. Showing both sides of a breakup is something I wish more songs did, because a story never only has one perspective. Joji and Benny both describe things that went wrong in the relationship in hindsight. At the end of the song, both of them say that they don't want to forget about each other, and it shows that you can have a somewhat civilized breakup and continue to live your life even though both of them made mistakes in their relationship.
I would never cry to a song, let's be honest. I am a man.
Like You Do is easily one of those beautiful and poetic love songs that has come out in the last 5 years. It conveys one of the worst emotions to feel in a relationship while doing it as if it meant nothing at all. His voice is so soft and scared while the piano melody is somber and thoughtful, again capturing this contrast of describing a mortifying feeling in a calm way. He talks about how he thinks that the relationship he's in might be coming to an end due to their dreams going in different directions, but he's too scared to address it because of the problems it could bring up. He's questioning if a perfect relationship can truly remain perfect. Joji's scared to lose the person he spent so much time with and had all these experiences with, to the point of saying that if the relationship ends, he doesn't think he can experience the highs with anyone else. If there was one song I wanted anyone to listen to from this album, no, from Joji's entire discography, it would be this song. Nectar at its core is an album about love. I've already talked about that. But I want to go more in depth for a second. Nectar is a sugary fluid secreted by plants, okay? It's the thing they use to pollinate from insects and other animals. He is literally comparing love and nectar because love attracts people because of its sweet things, but he is talking about the negative aspects of love that many people might not see when they first are attracted by this concept of a relationship. The songs themselves show these contrasts between these ideas of love. I mean, look at Sanctuary and Run, for example. It's two different aspects of love. Like, one is really, really positive and the other is extremely negative. And even within the songs themselves, the lyrics, Like You Do, I already talked about it, but it's telling you literally like the most, it's not one of the most horrifying, but it's just so depressing. It's so depressing, and the way he sings about it is so beautiful, and I just can't stop glazing Nectar, okay? That's it. Actually, that's not it. I have one last point to make. Love isn't linear. It's not easily defined or easily acquired. Everyone has their own experience and stories to tell, which is what Joji captures so well in the lyrics and compositions of the songs on this album. That's what makes love and the lack of love so universal, and that's what makes Joji's album, Nectar, the best representation of love.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Joji's third album, Nectar, is the breast representation. Alright, Bell.